Hello, welcome. This is Nationwide. I'm Ruth Aguele. You can join us live on our website is nta.ng/live and other social media handles displayed on the screen. The Progressives governors have promised to join forces and deliver Bauchi State to the All Progressives Congress candidates in the forthcoming general elections. Our correspondent, Musbahu Dawahab, reports that President Muhammadu Buhari's presence was a big boost at the party's presidential and governorship rally in Bauchi. We'll get the full details in subsequent bulletin. But still from Bauchi, President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed the conviction that his pre-election promise to serve Nigeria and Nigerians conscientiously with high sense of responsibility and to the best of his ability has been delivered. Speaking at the palace of the Emir of Bauchi during a courtesy visit, the president consequently made a strong case for his worthy legacies in critical economic sectors by being sustained by returning the governing APC to power. Let's get details from State House correspondent Adam Sambo.
The reception accorded President Muhammadu Buhari on arrival at Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa Airport, Bauchi, was devoid of party affiliation. Apart from ABC chieftains, including the presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his running mate, a high-powered state government delegation led by Governor Bala Mohammed of the PDP also stood to be counted. And along the major streets of Bauchi, it was a massive demonstration of intense pleasure as the president arrives to personally campaign for his party's candidates for the forthcoming elections. During a courtesy call at the palace of the Emir of Bauchi, both the Emir, Relwanu Suleiman Adamu, and Governor Bala Mohammed acknowledged President Buhari's high level of acceptability, respectability, and even adoration for impacting positively on the state's economy and lives of the people.
There is no place that you are relished, respected, and adored like Bauchi State.
Yes.
We have become a colossus in the politics of Nigeria, and Bauchi is your home. Whether you are in any party, whether you are coming from anywhere, if you are in Bauchi, you know we are Buharists, as I said in Kolomani. The oil and gas exploration in Kolomani has brought succor and hope to this country within the rim of Bauchi and Gombe. Is something that we will never forget. That today Bauchi has water for 50 years. It is due to our own legacy and foresight.
Parties and candidates should continue to exhibit tolerance, maturity, and responsibility during this electionary season. It is important that we do not import the culture of violence and hatred to spoil the spirit of excitement and festivities that come with electioneering in our state.
President Buhari, who appreciated the continued show of support by the people of Bauchi, was however quick to show where his interest lies as his administration winds down.
The next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
The president attributed the giant strides achieved by the governing APC across all sectors of the economy to the trust, confidence, understanding, and cooperation of Nigerians.
I made the promise and the pledge that I will serve Nigeria and Nigeria to the best of my ability. I hope I haven't disappointed anybody.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who is the chairman, Presidential Campaign Council of the governing APC for the 2023 elections, was in the Pearl of Tourism to ensure the election of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president and Sadiq Baba Abubakar as governor of Bauchi State. From Bauchi, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Away from politics, President Muhammadu Buhari will depart Lagos for Senegal on Tuesday, where he will attend the second edition of Dakar International Conference on Agriculture. A statement by the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity to the President, Femi Adesina, indicates that the theme of the summit hosted by President Macky Sall of Senegal and the chairperson of the African Union is Feeding Africa, Food Sovereignty and Resilience. There will also be side meetings to discuss delivery of food and agricultural products in some countries, including Nigeria. African heads of state and government, ministers of finance and agriculture and development will also attend the summit. President Buhari is expected back in the country on Wednesday, January 25th. The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority is again rolling out 8 regulations to sanitize operations of the midstream and downstream of the oil and gas industry in Nigeria. The stakeholders' consultations holding in Abuja is to get final input before forwarding to the Ministry of Justice for gazetting. Lydia Sampson reports.
The passage of the Petroleum Industry Act, key players note, has continued to position the industry for a more structured operation.
An independent point of view, that's one of the best things that have happened to the industry, and the funds put in place, right, actually de-risk the investments in the gas sector, for example. So forums like this gives us an opportunity to engage, and give feedback to government. I think these things are very important, and I'm happy that these things happen on a regular basis.
The stakeholders consultation forum on midstream and downstream petroleum regulations, the third in the series, is part of getting key players involved and owning process.
There are 8. Almost all of them speak to a particular aspect in the value chain. There is a draft regulation on gas flare. With the flares, it's not just to eliminate the environmental hazards, but also to optimize them into power and also the revenues that is there. There is also within this draft regulation that will address penalties and enforcement.
Some of the draft regulations to be digested by syndicated groups include midstream gas flare, terminal bulk storage, midstream and downstream dispute resolution, midstream and downstream penalties and enforcement mechanism regulations, gas distribution system regulation, and gas trading settlement regulation, amongst others. The PIA requires that the draft be in public for 21 days before review and input by stakeholders. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Well, let's head to Lagos now to join our correspondent Benue State, who has been at the location talking about Lekki Deep Sea Port, where the president is expected to inaugurate the project for commencement of operations. Adeni, you've been there since morning. What's the situation at this time?
Studio, the weather is very nice, sunny and breezy, suitable for an historic occasion such as what we have going on at Lekki Deep Sea Port today. This is where the president will be inaugurating this project in a short while, and everybody here is waiting anxiously for his arrival. As a matter of fact, dignitaries, have lined up to receive him, and I have one of them here. Talking about the managing director of Nigerian Port Authority, Mohammed Bello Koko, who will be sharing with me, giving us a sense of what is going on here. You are welcome to Nation Water.
Thank you.
Permit me to say congratulations for this, feat.
Thank you.
So today is the inauguration of Lekki Deep Sea Port. The agency has been at the top of this project, all this while. Give us a sense of how you are feeling right now, sir.
I'm quite elated, really. This is a dream come true. Lekki Deep Sea Port has been, on the pipeline for over 10 years. But in the last 3 years or so, the government of President Muhammadu Buhari gave all the necessary support for construction to begin. And for us, this is a new port. It means that all of a sudden, we now have a port that has the capacity to do better than other ports that we have in Nigeria. Lekki Deep Sea Port has about 11 kilometers of channel approach, and it's about 16.5 meters in terms of draft. So it's the deepest the seaport actually in Nigeria, or also the first seaport. And then secondly, also it has equipment that we do not currently have in other ports in Nigeria. It has ship-to-shore cranes, which will ensure that there is speedy processing of containers, of loading and loading of containers on the vessels and also on the stacking areas. You can see the size. The stacking area is actually bigger than what we have in current existing ports. So with the commissioning of Lekki Deep Sea Port and the kickoff of its operations, we are now getting to that fulfillment of that dream of becoming the maritime hub of West Africa. This is the most automated port in Nigeria also. It's really something to be happy, proud about.
All right, we have, I consider it auspicious that we have the first, commercial vessel, berthing here already. Does that provide a glimpse of what we will still see here at the port?
Yeah, so you can see how anxious the investors are and the port operators are to actually get this port working. We are also very anxious. So Nigerian Ports Authority will be responsible for monitoring the activities of the private port operators. We are the regulators. We will be providing marine services in terms of towage, tugboats and other equipment. This vessel you are seeing shows that they are ready to start business. We believe with the kickoff of Lekki Deep Sea Port, we will see a kind of reduction in congestion and traffic in the other two ports that are in Lagos, that's Tinkan and Apapa. So this is quite exciting, really.
Thank you very much, MD. All right, you had the man. From all indications, the waiting will soon be over, as we expect the president, chop her down any moment from now to come and perform this ceremony. So it's back to you now in the studio.
I'll say, and the wait and anxiety is worth it, because this is a very big feat for Nigeria. We're still staying in Lagos, but not outdoor this time around the studio, where we join Adiola for some more reports. Adiola.
Ruth, and still in the euphoria of the inauguration of iconic projects in Lagos, the ancient town of Imota comes alive as Lagosians await the arrival of President Muhammadu Buhari to officially inaugurate the Lagos Rice Mill Imota, the largest in sub-Saharan Africa. Hingino John Adams has the details.
Among projects billed for inauguration by President Muhammadu Buhari on his two-day working visit to Lagos State is the Lagos Rice Mill Imota, which occupies 13 hectares of land. A multi-billion naira project, the rice mill is expected to produce 32 metric tons of grains per hour, with a gross capacity to produce 2.8 million 50 kg bags of rice annually. It is equipped with 16 silos of 2,500 metric tons with a combined capacity of 40,000 metric tons. The rice mill is also built to create 250,000 jobs, of which 1,500 will be direct and 245,000 indirect jobs. When fully operational, the mill will be the largest in sub-Saharan Africa and will operate in two lines that receive, pre-clear polish, boil, dry and bag the rice. Hingino John Adams, NTA News.
Let's now join Musa Toliat, who is standing by at the rice mill in Mota, to give us a feel of happenings over there and what the expectations of the people.
We're still going back to Imota Rice Mill, the venue where President Muhammadu Buhari is expected to inaugurate another project there. Musa Toliat, our correspondent, is standing by. I'm sure the signal, I don't know, but let's join Musa again. Let's see.
It is called largest not because of the land mass, but because
Okay, Musa Toliat is having a challenge hearing us from his location. So let's go on break. We'll be back shortly. Please stay tuned. Thank you for staying tuned. All right, let's head to Kaduna to join Salamatu for some more reports. Salamatu.
Ruth, and glad to have you join us on Nationwide. Here we talk politics. The APC governorship candidate in Kaduna State, Senator Ubasani, says he will empower women so as to contribute meaningfully to the socio-economic development of the state if elected. The candidate stated this at a women rally in Kaduna. Muhammad Umar Ajengi reports.
The group of women gathered to declare their support for the Kaduna State APC governorship candidate Senator Obasani. According to the group, Senator Obasani is the right choice for the state, as he has been tested and trusted in all aspects of governance.
So many votes in millions because we are also capitalizing on those young ones that have just registered, that have turned 18 years of age. The women have always been very supportive of APC. They've been there, but the truth is that the government of APC has done so well for women that we don't have any excuse but to support APC again.
The governorship candidate says he will empower more women if elected as the governor, urging the group to vote APC at all levels.
We see that the women appreciated our government, and that is why they have come out today to show us that there is no party they will support in Kaduna other than the APC.
The rally was put together by the wife of Kaduna State Governor Askia Nasiru Ahmed El-Rufai. In Kaduna, Umar Aji, NTA News.
In addition to the provision of sound education, leaders have a responsibility to inculcate in young children love and commitment to the service of their communities and nation in general. Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje made the submission during the unveiling of state anthem at the Kano Government House. Abdullahi Mustafa tells us more.
This is a poetic work initiated by wife of the State Governor Abdullahi Ganduje. He, her husband, Governor Ganduje, and Emir of Rano Kabir performed the unveiling of the Kano anthem.
And also give myself to my nation. Even if I'm not a leader of the state, I will do anything I can.
The initiative, Governor Ganduje believes, will spice up the knowledge gained by school children in making positive contribution to the development of the state.
In order to appreciate our state, in order to come together and move this state forward, our culture, our tradition, our custom, our costumes.
Emir Afrano Muhammad Kabir Inwa commended the initiative and expressed hope for increased commitment among youth for a more developed and prosperous Kano. To give the state anthem a legislative framework, a bill for an act will soon be sent to the State House of Assembly for consideration and passage. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
Abdullahi Mustafa's report, and our package from here is back to root in Abuja.
Thank you, Salamatu. All right, we can't get enough of Lagos because you know today history is about to be made until President Muhammadu Buhari inaugurates the slated project scheduled for today. Let's rejoin our correspondent Musa Toilet at Imota Rice Mill location for the second place the president is expected to visit. Musa, we couldn't hear you earlier. I'm sure you can hear me now. What's the situation like from your end?
Thank you very much. Excitement is epoch-making event. This historic event of inauguration of this 32 metric tons rice mill, the largest in Africa. And we have people who actually can talk about the history of this place to benefit the residents here in Thailand. I have I'll talk to him now to tell us.
Okay, the signal there is quite poor, but I'm sure he was trying to get just a brief background to why that place is actually significant today. All right, let's talk about the CBN new naira note. The Central Bank of Nigeria has reassured Nigerians that it has put in place mechanisms so that no one is left behind in its monetary policies, as the deadline for mopping up of the old naira notes remains the 31st of January 2023. The Apex Bank made its position clear at a sensitization campaign in Damaturu, the Yobe State capital, as part of strategies to allay public anxiety on the issue of the redesigned currency. Let's hear more from Yunusa Suleiman.
Is insufficient. It is very scarce in the market. Even if you go to the bank now, as of 2 days as 2 days ago, even if you go to the bank, they will still give you the old currency.
Now we have a lot of challenges because the deadline is almost has gone, and that at first is very close because we cannot make it actually.
Having taken note of all these challenges raised, the sensitization campaign was initiated by the Central Bank of Nigeria to further enlighten and encourage traders and other stakeholders in Yobe State on the best ways to deposit their old bank notes, as the deadline to do so remains the 31st of January 2023.
The federal government meant well and Central Bank meant well for the populace, more especially the peasant. That's why they introduced this cashless and redesigned currency.
People have been sensitized and they have accepted this new policy, and they are ready to go to the banks to deposit their money.
The Apex Bank at the sensitization also insisted that it has no plan to extend the deadline to 31st, thereby advises traders and other stakeholders to equally sensitize rural dwellers on the use of a variety of options in order to access financial services within the time frame. The introduction of the redesigned naira notes has continued to dominate discussions in Nigeria, with many opposing the policy, even as the central bank maintains that the move is meant to add value to the nation's economy. In Damaturu, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
From Yenagoa, members of the public have been reminded to deposit all old naira notes in the bank on or before the deadline of, that is 31st January 2023. Controller Central Bank of Nigeria, Yenagoa, made the call during a sensitization outreach in the state, where he added that the deadline will not be extended. Ebinimi Zetimiola reports.
With barely 11 days to the deadline of 31st January 2023, when the old naira notes of 1,000 naira, 500 and 200 naira will cease to be a legal tender, the Central Bank of Nigeria is intensifying its sensitization campaign. Led by the branch controller, Yanagwa, officials of the CBN were at the Swale Otro Modern Market to enlighten the traders on the need to embrace the redesigned naira notes. It said the notes were redesigned to check inflation and money laundering, among other benefits. It therefore urged the traders to deposit all old notes in their possession in the bank, as the 31st January deadline is non-negotiable.
We want to raise the awareness of traders so they will know that they have to take the money to the bank. As they sell their product, they should transfer the money to the bank.
It's a well-timed program because, as you can see, we have been enlightened on how to use the money, how to differentiate the fake from the real one.
Traders who appreciated the CBN for the sensitization, however, expressed worry as some banks are still dispensing the old naira notes.
What I benefit from it is because of the new naira note that's coming up, and the government already give mandate that at the 1st of this January is going to be terminated close.
This one they are telling us that change money, yes, we are still accepted it, and to make the money not to be abused the money, yes, we accepted it.
We still go to the bank, they are still giving us the old money, and they said the old money, they are not going to collect the old money from the end of this month.
The CBN officials had earlier carried out on the spot check on banks in the metropolis to ascertain the level of compliance with the CBN directive. In Yenagua, Ebinimi Zetimiola, NTA News.
The success of any election is no doubt the collective responsibility of the Independent National Electoral Commission, political class, security agencies, and the electorate. With few days to the deadline for the collection of PVCs preparatory to February 25th for the presidential and National Assembly polls, how are the electorate responding? Over Hyacinth brings us an update in Calabar.
8 days to the deadline set by Independent National Electoral Commission for the collection of PVCs, some Nigerians are yet to collect their cards to enable them vote in the coming general election. Why the sloppy response? For Joseph Kokobasi, INEC need to decentralize the polling units to enable prospective voters collect their PVCs.
I think that INEC has a right to send people to the polling units, and if they send people to the polling units and then people don't come out to pick their PVCs, they say that the people have refused to come out to get their PVCs. But if they don't do that, I strongly think that we are going to get it right if we don't do that.
Other respondents, however, lauded the machinery put in place by INEC for the collection of PVCs, but solicit for an extension on the deadline.
In Cross River State, I don't think there's any election that will actually hit like 500,000 votes. I'm actually looking forward for us hitting 500 and above if truly we really want a change in our democracy. So I think INEC should actually extend it.
There was a serious preparedness from the electoral side.
We never collect plenty pass, so people will don't collect.
Where the INEC officials are attending to people, they have been very good to people, and they are doing their work very well.
The respondents maintain that it is imperative for all critical stakeholders to synergize and ensure that Nigeria get the policies for the general election. In Calabar, Hysen, NTA News.
The People's Democratic Party in Benue State has rounded off its local government-wide campaigns with a promise to strengthen participatory democracy that will continue to impact positively on the society. This was at the 3 local government areas of Apa, Agatu and Ohimini, where members of the party's campaign council and management committee led by Governor Samuel Atom brought the rally to its climax. Charles Alpha reports.
Supporters crowded each of the campaign grounds in ecstasy. Governor Samuel Otom's appeal to the people was of encouragement to collect their PVCs and vote en masse for the PDP governorship candidate and others to further develop the state.
This road that we just made from here, from Oshipudu to Abagachi, it was me that constructed in my first term. The hospital and the general hospital. You know, we have done all that. And several other projects. Every local government in Benue State is there.
The governorship candidate, Titus Uba, and his deputy, John Gbede, were optimistic that there is hope of success.
I was going back home, I was saying thank you to God for bringing PDP to Benue. Our Benue State is PDP. Everybody felt the presence of PDP. They felt the presence of Benue.
Senator Abba Patrick Mero and the Commissioner for Finance and Economic Planning, David Olofu, corroborated the submissions of the duo.
11th of March, we are going to go for the Excellency, Right Honorable Titus Uba and his deputy, Sir John Gbede.
The PDP campaign team had been to Obadibo, Okpoko, and other local government areas where they gave assurances of changing the narrative if voted into power. From Obagaji, headquarters of Agatu local government area, Benue State, Charles Abba, NTA News.
Presidential candidate of Labour Party Peter Obi says he will pull people out of poverty if elected in the next coming elections. He stated this at a town hall meeting with traditional and religious leaders in southern Ghana. Lois Apollo reports.
The traditional rulers of all the chiefdoms in southern Kaduna at Chief of Kaboro's palace, the presidential candidate promised to work with the traditional institutions in addressing the security challenges facing the country. He commiserated with them over the attacks in the area and also promised to fight poverty as a way of reducing criminality. Chief of Kagoro, Fred Bennett, appreciated Obi for identifying with the people of southern Kaduna and prayed for leaders that will address challenges facing the country. At a meeting with religious leaders, the presidential candidate promised to prioritize education, health, and agriculture to turn the fortunes of the country.
That is why I'm telling you, he will secure and unite Nigeria.
Representatives of the two religious bodies, Apostle Emmanuel Kure and Imam Muhammad Al-Qasim, called for the establishment of Federal University of Technology and Medical Center in the zone. Prayers were offered for a free and fair elections. Earlier, the presidential candidate commissioned the zonal office of the party in Kafancham. Lois Apollo, NTA News.
The People's Redemption Party, PRP, has cleared the air over reports of its alliance with the presidential candidate of African Action Congress, AAC, for mobilizing a congress in Benue State last week Monday. A statement by the acting Assistant National Publicity Secretary, Mohammed Ishaq, reiterates that PRP has never formed alliance with AAC's presidential candidate or any other political party. The statement urged the public to disregard the reports making rounds in the media, describing it as false and mischievous. Going forward, the PRP advises AAC to verify its facts before publicizing its activities. Benue State Governor Samuel Atom has empathized with survivors of recent attacks on Abagina community, which left 8 dead and others wounded. The governor visited the wounded people at the Benue State University Teaching Hospital in Makodi. Charles Abba reports.
And 10 survivors of the recent attack on Abagina community opposite the internally displaced persons camp in Makodi are mostly women and children. Governor Samuel Otom saw some of the victims writhing in pains while receiving treatment at the Benue State University Teaching Hospital in Makodi.
Where are those old women? Where are those young men? And I'm told that one of the victims, there is an admission here, that was shot at a baby of 3-year-old. The teaching hospital management did their best.
The governor, who lamented the persistent terrorist activities in the various communities of Benue State, especially in the Guma axis, called on relevant authorities to, as a matter of urgency, rise to the occasion. In Makudi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
Right, the long-time desire of residents, motorists, and commuters plying the Nyanya-Maraba Kefi Road to have the alternative Apo-Karshi Road completed is not far from reality, as the contractor handling the road is speeding up work, breaking barriers to complete the project. Abdullah Ajia has a situation report on his latest visit to the construction site, which means a lot to many.
This is Wasa Junction. This road leads to the Apo-Karshi Road that a lot of residents have been expectant of its completion. Today we shall be reminding those in authority and particularly those responsible towards the completion of this road on the need for this road to be completed.
In check promises and reality on the Apo-Karshi Road informed this latest visit to the road that holds great importance to residents and motorists.
The Apo-Karshi Road is a 14-kilometer road that has high expectations from the residents of the nation's capital, Abuja.
I'm coming from Kefi. I'm going to Abuja area council. I found this road because this road is shortcut.
We are pleading government to really help us because in terms of rainy season, we used to suffer in terms of carrying our farm goods to the village.
Since the contract was awarded, which many saw will bring relief to the perennial traffic congestion on the Nyanyakubo Road, has lingered for long.
The socio-economic importance of the Apo-Karshi Road, whose contract was awarded in 2011, cannot be overemphasized. Successive governments have made effort towards the completion of this road, but to no avail. But as we speak, the present administration are following a lot of promises. Today is following to see to the completion of this road.
Within the period that the minister visited last time as at October, to date, we have been working. We did not observe the Christmas holiday. We work all throughout within the period of Christmas to make sure that we complete this project before the expiration of this the tenure of this present government.
NTA News will keep tab on new developments on the road construction, considering the latest assurances and commitments to the project delivery. In Abuja, Abdullah Hajia, NTA News.
Food, Drug Administration and Control has successfully completed a 5-year operation that saw it to the destruction of tramadol with a stress value of 95 billion naira. Director General of the agency, Professor Mochisola Adeyeye, who disclosed this, confirmed that the fight will never stop. Haman Jabani reports.
5-year surveillance commenced with the monitoring of the reported containers from the ports of loading to the successful ports where they were transported along the sea route. The importer tried discharging in Ghana but later diverted them to Cotonou, and Nigerian ambassador then in Benin Republic worked tirelessly to ensure that the port authority in Benin Republic effected the seizure of the 5 containers on the request of NAFDAC, but some entity took the case to court in Benin that the containers should be brought back to Nigeria. This took 1 year, but Ambassador Aluko stayed on the case until the court made judgment that the containers can be destroyed in Benin. Eventually, the government of Republic of Benin agreed to engage with the Nigerian counterparts to carry out the destruction of these containers in.
Alright, the wait is finally over. We just got information President Muhammadu Buhari has arrived in Lekki Deep Sea Port. So we join our outside broadcast crew for that live transmission. Please enjoy.